Hello, and welcome to Reality TV News Update, where you'll find the most recent news, entertaining moments, and exclusive behind-the-scenes content. A number of people who competed on Survivor over the past 25 years have sadly passed away. The show Survivor has become a TV staple in its quarter of a century on our screens, pitting dozens of people against each other as they fight it out for a $1 million cash prize. Fans this week had to wait just a little bit longer for Survivor's 50th season preview after President Trump interrupted the broadcast to argue that he has lowered inflation and attack his predecessor in a 20-minute tirade. This milestone series is set to feature Billie Eilish in some fashion and will premiere in late February of next year, with showrunners promising all new features and twists to keep the audience hooked. However, in the 25 years since Survivor premiered on television and quickly established itself as one of the most watched shows in the nation, a number of the castaways we came to love or hate have tragically died. Since appearing on the show, 17 contestants have passed away, and the difficulties of life continue long after they have won the $1 million prize. Jane Bright. Jane was one of the strongest contestants on her season of Survivor Nicaragua. She made it to 3 days before the end of the competition due to her ability to negotiate, but she was voted out due to her lack of charisma. She finished the 21st season in 6th place overall. But more importantly, she won the Sprint Fan Favorite Award from the audience because both her fellow contestants and the audience liked her quirky and likable personality. The CBS show's host, Jeff Probst, said in a tribute post after her death, aged 71 in May 2025, "What stood out to me about Jane is that she didn't let age be a barrier to adventure. She dove headfirst into Survivor with grit and heart. Jane embodied the spirit of Survivor and leaves a legacy that I hope will continue to inspire others to apply for the adventure of a lifetime." Kim Johnson. Finalist Kim Johnson came second in 2002's Survivor Africa, which saw the then 57-year-old use a mixture of tactics and surprising physical prowess to make it to the last two. She made a name for herself on the show by becoming the oldest woman to reach the final tribal council and the oldest person to win the final immunity challenge, which allowed her to win out over the other contestants. In an Instagram tribute, the winner of her season, Ethan Zahn, expressed his grief at Kim's passing at the age of 79, writing, "Rest in peace, Kim Johnson. It was a blessing to call you my friend and a privilege to experience the final tribal council with you." Johnson died following a cancer diagnosis. Christopher Sanja. Sanja Sawyer was the first contestant to be eliminated from Survivor. She tragically passed away in April 2024 at the age of 87, almost 25 years after appearing on the popular show. Sanja's faltering performance in an early challenge saw her teammates give her the boot, but she still made a lasting impact on the show's host. Probst said in a tribute, "Sanja was one of the kindest people to ever play Survivor. Every interaction I had with her over the years was lovely. She would always greet you with happiness and a smile on her face. It means a lot to me that we were able to meet." Keith Nail. Keith Nail took part in both Survivor San Juan del Sur and Survivor Cambodia, at first being mistakenly seen as a misfit on his team due to his easygoing nature. Despite this, he was able to make it all the way to the Final Four on San Juan del Sur thanks to his surprising ability to overcome immunity challenges and his strategic positioning during vote casting. He died aged 62 on April 23, 2023. A tribute from the team behind the CBS series reads, "On behalf of the entire Survivor crew, we send our deepest condolences to the Nail family. Keith was a unique individual, absolutely singular in every way. Survivor viewers and those of us who co-created the show were in for an endless supply of joy and laughter from him. He was adored by so many and will be greatly missed." In the months before Nail died, his family revealed that he had been diagnosed with cancer. Richard Sexton. During his show, Survivor the Amazon, Roger Sexton argued with a lot of his contestants and backed his all-male team to win, but his views would eventually see him voted off after a campaign to oust him from the female contestants who thought he'd never let a woman win. He died on October 26, 2022, at the age of 76 after being diagnosed with Lewy body dementia. His family said in a tribute, "Confidence, discipline, and determination to succeed were all vital components to Roger's character, which assisted him in being cast on Survivor." Dan Lembo. Coming fifth in Survivor Nicaragua, Dan Lembo was one of those contestants who made it through the early rounds through strength of personality alone. Despite suffering mobility problems after having to undergo knee surgery before the competition, Dan's winning personality saw him make it all the way to the final five before getting the boot. In September 2022, he passed away at the age of 75 at his home in Manhattan. Daniel was a charismatic, larger-than-life, outgoing bon vivant. He loved nothing more than spending time with his children and friends, reads his obituary. Lembo died 6 years after being diagnosed with an incurable brain disease called progressive supranuclear palsy, which affected his speech, memory, and motor skills, his daughter-in-law told TMZ at the time. Clay Jackson. Clayton Brooks Clay Jordan III did not have the easiest time on Survivor Thailand, largely making his own way on the show after becoming unpopular with teammates. Despite this setback, Clay was able to make it all the way to the final, finishing second overall. He passed away in May 2022 after a short illness. His obituary reads, "He had a heart of gold and a sense of humor that would put a smile on anyone's face. He would laugh so hard after scaring people because he loved to. He enjoyed chicken fried steak and gardening. What he loved more than anything was his family, and he absolutely loved to help people and be of service." He was runner-up on Survivor Thailand in 2002 and met many people through his journey of being Clay from Survivor. Ralph Kaiser. Ralph was a contestant on Survivor Redemption Island, where he gained notoriety for always spelling people's names wrong when at the tribal council. After failing to pass the merger, the farmer placed 9th in the end. He sadly died 56 years old in April 2022 after suffering a heart attack. Host Probst said in his tribute to Ralph, his huge smile, his positive attitude, and of course his infectious rooster crow made him one of the most likable to ever play Survivor. Sunday Berquest. Competing on Survivor Millennials vs. Gen X in 2016, Sunday was a well-liked member of her team who was ultimately voted out on day 35 after being outmaneuvered by her competitors. The youth pastor was tragically diagnosed with ovarian and esophageal cancer in 2020, dying just a year later at the age of 50. Probst said in his tribute, "Sunday Berquest had one of the brightest smiles of any person to ever play Survivor. She radiated kindness and understanding to anyone lucky enough to be in her presence. She seemed to understand better than most that life is for living, so say yes to life whenever possible." Ashley Jacques. Survivor Palau contestant Angie Jacques never really got a fair shake at the title after being picked onto a team that lost almost every challenge. She left on day 12 after a messy tribal council. She was sadly diagnosed with squamous cell colorectal cancer in 2017, ultimately dying in 2021 at the age of 40. Teammate Kobe Archa told People, "She wasn't into the fame, just the experience of Survivor. She came, she played, and she went back to her life in New Orleans. She liked her life that way." Robinson. Survivor Kayagan contestant and NBA All-Star Cliff Robinson was well-liked on the show, but quickly emerged as a threat to his fellow competitors and was kicked out by day 14. After taking part in the show, Robinson continued to do crazy things. In 2014, he joined fellow former player Dennis Rodman in traveling to North Korea for Supreme Leader Kim Jong-un's 30th birthday. Probst said in his tribute, "To have Cliff Robinson, an NBA All-Star, play Survivor was a personal highlight for me, and he was one of the classiest people to ever play the game. He treated the other cast members and the entire crew with grace and respect." He died in 2020 from lymphoma at the age of 53. Rudi Bosch. Rudolf Ernst Bosch appeared on both Survivor Borneo and Survivor All-Stars, where he shattered all expectations after forming a very close friendship with openly gay contestant Richard Hatch, despite holding conservative views. Hatch said after his friend's death, "Ours was an interesting bond, dear Rudy. You and I helped open minds and undermine prejudices. While your time here has passed, you will remain loved and iconic, dear friend." He died in 2019 at the grand old age of 90.
Attorney Dan Kay competed on Survivor Gabon and ended in 11th place after making it through 3 weeks of the competition. He died unexpectedly at his home at the age of 40 on December 31, 2016. His obituary reads, "Dan had a smile that could light up a room. His desire to be challenged and his quest for adventure led to his participation on the reality show Survivor." Caleb Bankston. Caleb Bankston took part in Survivor Blood vs. Water, playing against fiancé Colton Cumbie and making it to 9th place. The competitor sadly died aged just 26 after being involved in a railway accident in 2014, just 6 months after he appeared on the show. Host Probst said in a tribute after Bankston's tragic death, quote, "Caleb was one of the most humble and likable contestants we have ever had the pleasure of working with on the show. A true gentleman. He will be missed by so many." Cumbie said, "Caleb was my everything. We were the couple that my family would get so mad at when we played dominoes because we cheated." B.B. Anderson. Bill Byron, also known as B.B. Anderson, was the second ever person to be voted off Survivor after rubbing his fellow castaways the wrong way and telling them he didn't mind being voted off. Quote, "He was a powerful presence on the show, and that zest for epic adventure was at the heart of everything he did," Probst stated after his death from brain cancer in 2013 at the age of 77. Joel Klug, fellow castaway, said, "He was the man. He loved living. He could tell good whiskey from bad whiskey. He was a person who moved and shaken things up. Also, he was tough. We were on the equator, and the temperature was probably 100 degrees. He worked hard to build a shelter. He was an impressive guy and an influence on me." Lyon, Jennifer. Survivor Palau contestant Jennifer Lyon was a force of personality on the show, remaining upbeat even when the challenges stacked up against her. Known as Jen on the show, viewers cheered on her budding on-screen romance with a fellow castaway. She sadly passed away after a breast cancer diagnosis in 2010 at the age of 37. If I learned anything from Jen, it is this: don't be afraid to ask someone how they are truly feeling about dying. Don't shy away from the scary parts of death. They need someone to talk to about what is going on inside their head. For more than a quarter century, the CBS reality competition Survivor has captivated millions with its blend of strategy, endurance, humor, and heart. But beyond the challenges and tribal councils lies a family of contestants whose lives were richer than any game. As Survivor approaches its milestone 50th season, it's also a time of bittersweet remembrance. 17 castaways who once braved the elements, the competition, and themselves have passed on. Their stories remind us that Survivor was never just a game, and that the true legacy of these players lives in the hearts of fans and fellow castaways alike. Jen Lyon, a trailblazer gone too soon. The first Survivor alumni to pass away, Jennifer "Jen" Lyon competed on Survivor Gabon and earned a reputation for her humor and determination. Jen impressed fans with her openness and resilience in the 4th episode of her season, when she displayed both vulnerability and strength simultaneously. After the show, breast cancer, a disease she fought with courage, ultimately took her life on January 19, 2010. Her passing was honored in a tribute at the Heroes vs. Villains reunion, underlining how deeply she was loved by the Survivor community. B.B. Anderson, Adventure in Every Breath. Among the originals in the first season of Survivor, B.B. Anderson embodied the spirit of adventure that characterized the show's early years. Voted out second on Survivor Borneo, B.B. represented the everyman, ready for challenge and steeped in life experience. After a passionate life, he succumbed to brain cancer on October 29, 2013. Tributes highlighted his zest for life and the inspiration he gave to others to seek adventure at any age. Caleb Bankston, a gentle soul taken too quickly. Caleb Bankston appeared on Survivor Blood vs. Water, competing alongside his fiancée Colton Cumbie and making it to 9th place. The competitor sadly died aged just 26 after being involved in a railway accident in 2014, just 6 months after he appeared on the show. Host Probst said in a tribute after Bankston's tragic death, quote, "Caleb was one of the most humble and likable contestants we have ever had the pleasure of working with on the show. A true gentleman. He will be missed by so many." Dan K, an adventurous spirit. A competitor on Survivor Gabon, Dan K was known for his outgoing personality and lawyer's mind. Yet life after the game was short-lived when he passed unexpectedly on December 31, 2016, at the age of 40. Though details around his death remain private, Dan's legacy as a vibrant and thoughtful competitor lives on. Ashley Massaro, star power and heart. WWE star Ashley Massaro brought athleticism and charisma to Survivor China. She faced challenges on and off camera, and her passing on May 16, 2019 at age 39 by suicide shocked the Survivor and wrestling communities. Ashley's death underscored the importance of mental health awareness for all, especially public figures whose struggles can be unseen. Fans remember her strength, fierce spirit, and warmth. Rudy Boesch, legend of the game. One of the most iconic figures in Survivor history, Rudy Boesch defined the role of the castaway for many fans. A retired Navy SEAL in his 70s when he competed on the first season, Rudy's wit, grit, and straightforward honesty made him unforgettable. He came back for Survivor All-Stars, proving that age doesn't stop people from trying new things. Rudy passed on November 1, 2019 at age 91 after battling Alzheimer's disease, leaving behind a legacy of respect, humor, and inspiration. Remembering the legacy. 17 voices silenced, but many more echoes still heard. That is the legacy these Survivor contestants leave behind. From first boot to fan favorite, from sports star to everyday adventurer, each brought something unique to the game and to the community. Their journeys remind us that life outside the game can be just as unpredictable, meaningful, and poignantly beautiful as the time spent on the island. As fans watch the next tribe head to tribal council and whisper, "The tribe has spoken," let us also whisper back, "Rest in peace. You will always be remembered."